What is going on, Sky Squad? We are back in this good building today, y'all. Happy Monday. Happy December, the 6th, y'all. We got a couple more days till Christmas. You got to do your Christmas shopping. You best to get it in now before the sales end. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It's a good day, y'all. It's a good day today. We just did Good Day DC. We was talking about Tristan Thompson, Khloe Kardashian. We was talking all kinds of stuff this morning, and I will be back at Fox 5 tonight for Like It or Not at 7 p.m. So if you happen to be in the D.C., Maryland, Virginia area, be sure to check us out on Fox tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, baby. With that being said, we talking Porsha's family matters, Porsha's family mess, more like it, okay? And if you are in that good chatterization, make sure you guys let us know where you are watching from. You know what I'm saying? Because we like to know where our people at. So when Krishan tell us she in Atlanta, we can say, hey, Atlanta, come on, Vegas. I see you. New Orleans is in the building. Happy birthday, Kimberly Keaton. Thank you so much for tuning in on your B-Day. Charlottesville, VA is in the house. Memphis, Tennessee, Columbus. We got Gwen. Oh, wait. What was that? Oh, yeah. It's birthday. Brussels. We got New York, California, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Oak Cliff, Lancaster, New York, Maryland, and his naive Chicago, baby. I see y'all. Come on in the room. Huntsville, Alabama. How you doing? What y'all got going? I got a lot of good information about Huntsville, Alabama today. I mean, not today. It was Saturday. We did an event for Amirin at a Not for Lazy Moms event. So we was down there promoting, and I met somebody who had a whole lot of information about Huntsville. And it wasn't no tea or nothing like that. It was just about how business is booming down there, y'all. Business is booming in the Huntsville, Alabama. Shout out to Miss Alice. You know who I'm talking about. Queen of the DMV. Hey, boo. Best energy ever. Okay, so let's get into what we got to talk about, y'all. Let's get into it, because I don't want to waste your time. Because listen, we got a whole nother show to do. We got to talk about Salt Lake City and the Cringe Fest from last night at 2 p.m. with Up and Adam. Okay, we're gonna go in today. All right. Now, let's go ahead and talk Porsha's Family Matters Season 1, Episode 2. Guess who coming to lunch? And we're going to rate the episode, y'all. We're going to rate this episode on a scale of 1 to 10. Okay, I want you guys to give me on a scale of 1 to 10 what you would rate this episode. Now, 1 being obviously the low point and then 10 being the highest. And if you want to take it to 20, go ahead and do so, okay? Now, also, if you can tell us why, give us a little bit of tea on why you felt like the episode was a 1 through a 10. Give it to me if you want. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Julia, we busy today, but we're going to make it do what it do. 6.5, we got an 8, 9, 8, 7. I'm going to tell y'all the truth. I'm going to give it a 9. I mean, it wasn't as wild as last week's episode was, but you know, oh, thank you, Simone. I appreciate that. Latoya said it was a 10. It was too much going on. Yes, this show is definitely drama filled, okay? And she did call Dennis her man. So it felt like a 9 to me. Now, just a general thought about this show, and I wrote it in my notes. I don't understand how it is that Simon Guobadia has agreed to do this show. Because this show is very much, to me, feeling like it's centered on the scandalousness of what we've seen in the news with Porsha and Simon, but it really at its core seems more about Porsha and Dennis and their story as it continues to evolve with their new sort of reality and their new relationship as co-parents. And last night's episode brought some extra drama in the form of Dennis's mama, Gina. Okay, Mama Gina ain't playing no bitter games. Last week, I compared Dennis to I likened him to being a Kenya Moore character, sort of a foil to Porsha. But what I didn't know it was that it was actually Mama Gina okay, who has the sort of Kenya Moore role. And when I say that, I mean she is someone who is calling out what she sees, or she calling out BS when she sees it. Okay, and she's spreading the news. Like the news last night we got was that according to Mama Gina, Porsha was cheating on Dennis. You know, and it's another one of those situations like it was with Melody Holt, okay, where there was allegedly on a break, and Porsha had been seen or got with some other man or something like that. And Mama Gina let us know that she got that information from Porsha's own mama herself, allegedly, okay, because Porsha said that's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. Now I want to know who y'all believe. Do you believe Miss Mama Gina, okay, in her tiara / face mask, okay, her Diamondale encrusted face mask? Did y'all see that thing? I almost gagged and fell out of my chair last night when she popped up on the screen in her confessional in her Grecian crown adorned the top of her bob. You know what I'm saying? I was like, what in the Whitney Houston bodyguard is going on here with Miss Mama Gina? Because Miss Mama Gina then came in and stole the whole show. Okay, Tarika has said Dennis for the win, and I'm gonna say Miss Mama Gina for the win. Okay, simply for this Grecian crown alone. Okay, Miss Mama was not for anybody talking about her son, including Porsha's grandma. Okay, because Miss Mama Gina was ready to. I felt like she was ready to fight and throw some bows. Okay, but Miss Grandmama was up out of that seat so fast. She was like, "Let me get down here with you." Okay, but we gonna talk about it. Jarrell says, "But why Dennis Mama had the Christmas ornaments on her head in her confessional?" Now this was the Greek goddess look. Okay, it was the Grecian goddess spring 2022. Okay, that's what that was. That's what she was giving us. She gonna have her own line of Grecian goddess crowns come next season. Watch what I tell you. Okay. Tarika said we need Mama Gina on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I'm gonna tell you the truth. Low key, had this been the storyline on Real Housewives of Atlanta, let me tell you, this season would have been ultra lit. But Porsha said, y'all not getting all my good storylines. Y'all not getting all my story. That money gonna come to me and my family. So Miss Mama Gina might be reading me down to the ground and down to the floor and up and down through the city of Atlanta, Duluth, and Savannah. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna make this money off of these people. Y'all ain't gonna give it to the rest of these girls. I'm gonna get this money today. All right. Now that I'm done with that, okay. Chime down in the chatterization if you want a Grecian crown from Miss Mama Gina. All right. Anyway, let's go ahead and start this episode. Nia says, pay me for my drama. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Q Funky always says, pay me for my pain. But Porsha says, pay me for my drama. And that's exactly what's going on here. All right. Now, we start the episode off with Porsha and Lauren meeting up for the lunch. Okay. Now, they discussing her birthday cookout, which they was talking about in the last episode. Now, Porsha recaps the conversation that she had with Dennis. Lauren recaps the conversation that she had to have with Dennis last episode. Hold on, we got a super chat. Let me acknowledge it real quick from Bruce, who says, Mama Gina, Miss Wanda, Miss Marlene, and Miss Van on one show, #Real TV. Thank you for that super chat. That would be a whole mess of a show, but it'd be good. Okay. Anyway, Lauren recaps the conversation she had with Dennis when she went down to the hot dog factory. She told him that he could bring a date if he want to bring a date to the cookout. Now, Porsha is annoyed, and then she accidentally somehow calls Dennis her man. And it was definitely a Freudian slip, but it was kind of telling in the sense of, like, girl, you still halfway referring to this man as your man when you claim he's not your man, and you got a man, but your man is technically somebody else's man on paper. So it's a lot of confusion going on here. So yeah, Porsha, I'd be confused too. Maybe you don't know who your man is at any given point in time. I get it. There's a lot going on this show. It's a lot of chaos. So Porsha, I do not blame you for being confused. Okay, Where is my book? Where is my book? I meant to show it to y'all, the Porsha book, because you know I am not a hater. I am a supporter, and I did purchase my book from the Amazon. I wanted to show it to y'all, but anyway, Lauren tells Porsha that Dennis thinks that she is still in love with him. Now, I want you guys to notice this because Porsha will later go out to dinner with Dennis, and she's basically saying that she thinks that she's going out with her co-parent. But I'm like, girl, if Dennis just told your sister that he thinks that you are still in love with him, when you go out with him, you cannot then say you think that you are going out with your co-parent because you know that he thinks you still love him. So in my mind, it's like, you just gonna skip over that little aspect of what Lauren had already told you, and you can't then act surprised at dinner and have a sudden epiphany, okay, that this ain't necessarily just a co-parenting meeting, because y'all could have talked about that over the phone. Okay. Now, anyway, Lauren thinks that the social media is just too much right now with everybody going in on Porsha and this and that and the third. And, you know, they need to go on a retreat, okay? They need to get away and go on some type of spiritual retreat. Now, y'all know that's going to be a mess. But I'm here for it, and I want to go too. T-Ness says, hey, Richie, sounds like Porsha has a small case of KRS. Love you, boo. Love you too, boo. Thank you so much for that super chat. Lauren is mourning, apparently, her on-again, off-again boyfriend, Nate. Now, Nate don't like that Lauren had been met up with Simon during last week's episode where she was planning Porsha's birthday party with Simon. I don't know really much about their relationship other than the fact that Porsha don't like Nate, and Porsha feels like her sister is unhappy when she's with Nate, and that the mere mention of Nate almost brings tears to Lauren's eyes. And I'm like, now this is a story right here. Where is Nate? Is he not going to be on this show? And Porsha probably said, you know what? Nope. We're not giving you no money. You don't get no coins, because Porsha feels like Lauren is too good for Nate. Okay. Now, I want you guys to notice that when the moment Porsha says that she feels like Lauren is too good for Nate, she breaks down in tears. Now, keep note of this, that I said that, okay? Because it's going to be relevant in just a minute. Anyway, Dennis, PJ, and Mama Gina go toy shopping. And whilst they are toy shopping, you know, they get to talking. And ever since Dennis had commented on Porsha's photo, talking about how, I almost forgot you was engaged, girl. You looking so good, or whatever he said. You know, his phone has been blowing up. So apparently he was just trolling the people, okay? And he did end up calling Simon, and they talked over that whole situation. But in my mind, I'm like, if y'all had a conversation about that, I would have liked to seen that. Producers, y'all missed an opportunity right there, because I would have paid good money to hear exactly what Dennis said to Simon when he called and tried to explain what he was doing with that post. Okay. Now, there's still tension, we learned, between Mama Gina and Porsha. And in my notes, I wrote, OMG, Mama got a confessional, and I just don't know what I'm looking at. Okay. I just don't know what I'm looking at. Now, here is Mama Gina. Now, listen, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for the splash that Mama Gina was going to make. I really was not. So as you can imagine, when I'm taking my notes, I don't know what was happening after that for like 10 minutes, because I was still stuck on her Grecian goddess crown, okay? Her Grecian goddess crown was just taking me through and through. And so shout out to her, because she definitely, listen, as they always say, it's better to be talked about than not talked about. And she definitely is going to be one to be talked about after this episode. Okay. Mama was doing the most and I was here for all of it, okay? So anyway, Mama believes that Porsha shouldn't care who Dennis brings to her cookout, okay? Now, it's the day of the cookout. Simon is meandering at the front door of the house, because ain't nobody letting him in, but the entire family on the inside, okay? So he finally does let himself in. And he goes around and awkwardly introduces himself to everybody. Lauren gets Portia's Lauren, while they're talking in Portia's room or suite or wherever they at, she tells Porsha that she got her a session with her spiritual advisor or counselor, Lena. And that's going to come into play a little later in the episode. But we learned that Lauren has quit working with Porsha to focus on yoga and spirituality. The thing that I want to say about Lauren is this. I like Lauren a lot. I think that Lauren is very real. She comes across as very genuine, and I want to see Lauren win. But in my mind, I feel like when somebody tells me, and this is probably me, and I'm going to tell you guys the truth and be very transparent, because y'all know I don't think that I'm perfect. But in my mind, when you tell me you are going on this spiritual journey, and you was so knee deep into it that you are willing to give up everything else in your life, why are you still holding on to the stress of a man if you are knee deep into your spiritual journey with yourself? Because it sounds to me, and I'm not a spiritual guy or nothing like that. I am just someone who operates in spirit at times. Okay, I try my hardest to. But if in my mind, if I'm giving up my job and my life, my livelihood and my coins to go on some type of spiritual journey, and I'm giving up those things that are actually beneficial to my life, why is it that she's still dealing with this situation with this guy? I mean, it don't sound like it's healthy for her. It seemed to me like the spiritual guide would have told her, girl, you need to get on out this relationship. But I don't know if she's using the spiritual counselor for that. Okay. Maybe they ain't got to that chapter yet. Maybe they still on the way there. Okay. Because that's the only reason I could think that she's still in this situation with this guy where she's so incredibly unhappy that by the mention of his mere name, she is in tears. Okay. She in tears. And I like Lauren, and so I want the best for her. But I'm like, let's speed this spiritual journey up just a little bit, because we need to get you past the point of dealing with this type of situation. Okay. Meanwhile, we had a super chat from Miss D Green who says, every time you say Grecian goddess, it's Grecian goddess. That's what I mean. It's Grecian goddess, spring, summer 2022. Okay. All right. Now, one of Portia's mama's friends, okay, if that was confusing for you, her name is Esther. She asked Simon if he's gonna keep this wife, because she knows how them Nigerian men are. Now, those are her words, not mine. Okay. He says yes. And then in walks Portia's new assistant, Lauren. And I was like, you replaced one Lauren with another Lauren. Smart move, Porsha. That way you got to get them confused like you getting Dennis and Simon confused. Anyway, Lauren recaps meeting with her meeting with is it Landra? Anyway, one of Portia's cousins, and relays that she's having a conversation with Landria. What's her name, y'all? Is it Landria? Landra. Londa. Lynette. Lady J. Whoever. She meeting with Lon. We're gonna call her that for short. Sorry, Landra. Lania. Londi. Lynette. Don't nobody know. Everybody got something different in the Londi. Okay, she meeting with Londi. All right. So Lauren talking to Londi. And it's interesting because she relays that Porsha has a bunch of yes people around her, but all the yes people work for her. And when the camera panned to the people, they was panning to Stormy, who is Portia's little cousin, and it was pointing to Lauren W., who has replaced old Lauren as Portia's assistant. Okay. Now, And she tells Londi that she told Dennis he could bring a date. And she's like, well, I'm not too worried about Porsha talking about Dennis bringing around somebody random because Porsha got Simon around PJ. So it shouldn't matter who Dennis bring around. In that sentence, Lauren just equated Simon. She didn't say it, but she suggested, probably unconsciously, that Simon was no different from some chick that Dennis might have pulled from off the streets. How do you... Oh, Lauren. Oh, Lauren. Lynette, not to be confused with Londi, says, I love you, Richie. This is my first time catching you live. Let's talk Huntsville, baby. Let me tell you something. We're going to be live on Huntsville on Sunday, okay? Meanwhile, that was just wild to me. Anyway, at the dinner, all the family members, all right, are grilling Simon. And Porsha reveals that this is Simon's fourth marriage. And you know, all the faces around the table are like, ooh, what? Oh no. And one of the aunts comments that he running through oh no, I think it was the grandma. The grandma commented that Simon is running through these women like water. But Simon, oh no, not Simon, not anymore. Simon has gone through therapy. I think on his Instagram, he just posted about going through 175 hours of therapy. Now, I ain't going to therapy in a very long time, to be very honest with you guys. I think the last time I went twice in college. And I don't think during any of my time in going to counseling that I counted the hours that I spent. It almost felt like he was like, yep, I served my 175 hours of community service. I'm done. You know, I've never heard anybody in my adult life calculate how many hours of therapy they have gone through. I mean, it's barely enough that you count the weeks that you might go, and it's barely enough that most people remember that they got a counseling or a therapist appointment. But it was just interesting to me that he posted that today because I was like, who does that? Who knows that? But maybe that's just me. Maybe he said to himself, well, you know, if I'm paying for these counseling sessions, I want to know how many hours I spend with you. Okay. But anyway, I just thought that was interesting. So anyway, through the counseling, okay, he has learned a lot. But as Simon was about to have his moment, in walks Dennis. Okay. In walks Dennis with PJ and Miss Mama Gina. Okay. And in my mind, I was like, that's when I wrote in my notes, how is Simon doing this show? I feel like as a man, if I'm engaged to somebody, the last thing that I want is to have this other man always hanging out. I mean, and I understand he is the baby daddy, but at the same time, it's like, I don't understand how he's filming this show and not seeing that really the optics of the show make it seem as though it's really Porsha and Dennis who are the stars of this show. And in that regard, it puts them in situations where it feels like they are still a couple. How is he okay with this? In my mind, I don't understand it. And maybe I just have not evolved to the place where Simon is. And maybe I need 175 hours of therapy in order for me to really understand and be able to mentally calculate how I will put myself in this situation. I don't get it. Okay? I don't get it. Anyway, we got a super chat from Blue Skies Clearwater. Yes, baby. Richie, can we have a live watch party for this show? I'd love to see your reactions in the moment. I thought about trying to do something like that. I guess I would have to do it like in a Patreon or something like that because YouTube, they get funny about that type of stuff. So I'm gonna try to figure that out, because I wish I could have seen my face watching this in Salt Lake City. I was cringing last night. Thank you for that super chat, boo. Okay, so Porsha's cousin Storm, or is it Stormy? Anyway, comments about Porsha and Simon's vibe, okay? And to me, it just looks awkward for Simon. And then Simon is commenting about how good it is between him and Dennis, how well they are getting along, and how he would go to bat for PJ, on behalf of Dennis. Okay, so it's turning into like a little kumbaya. Caramel Cutie says, "Do you think there's still chemistry between Porsha and Dennis? Is the sky blue? Does the sun shine? Is the night dark? Do the stars shine bright above us?" Okay, is today Monday? The answer to those questions are yes. Okay, I do. And if anybody who is watching this show cannot see that, I don't know what show you watching. Okay, that's how I feel. But anyway, Storm, whomever. Simon. Okay, so then everybody's having these little kumbaya moments. Mama Diane is crying about how good it all is, but how good in the hood it is betwixt everybody. Okay, Grandma then makes it clear, hey, we sharing a baby, but we ain't sharing wives now. So Miss Diane continues talking about how it is so amazing that the two men can get along. But Miss Mama Gina, she crying too, but she crying tears of a different sort. Okay, she talks about how transitions being how hard it is to transition from having mommy and daddy together. Okay, and not wanting PJ to realize that there's anything different. All right. Um. Mm-hmm. 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 The mere fact that she said later on he didn't bring the ring back like she told him to, so that was the reason why they didn't get back together. I mean, that don't mean you stop loving the man. It won't like he didn't bring he didn't bring the ring back. I don't love him no more. It won't like that. You know what I'm saying? I just thought that was funny too. Okay, so Mama Gina is, she on one. Oh, hold on for a second. Tracy Chapel says you can do a watch party on TikTok. Oh, I gotta figure out how that worked then. That might be something right now. Okay. Now Mama Gina talking about she don't want the PJ to recognize that there's anything different. And Grandma is like, well, you know what? That's all well and good. But I got a son like Dennis too, and he like to chase them women. Okay. And Dennis, you just like my son. You just like the women's, and you can't control yourself. Mama Gina, you can see her temperature starting to boil. She was like, no, well, hold up now. No, hold up. My son is not like that. And I'm like, girl, do you know what we talking about? Okay, because I mean the streets say different. Okay. Anyway, and Grandma says, now hold on. I'm not trying to be rude. You know what I'm saying? Grandma gets up from the table. She got to go speak to Dennis directly in his ear, right here. Okay. And in front of Mama Gina, she's like, listen. I ain't trying to say I don't mean no harm, but it is what it is. He just like the women. He can't be tamed. He can't be boggled down with monogamy. That's not who he is at his core. And Mama Gina feels like, now hold on. And Grandma says all men cheat. So Grandma, bless her heart, just got the assumption that men is just gonna cheat any kind of way. It don't even matter what kind of man you are. It don't matter about your 175 hours of therapy and counseling and how many times you count how many sessions you got. That don't really matter. If you got a thing in between your legs, you is gonna cheat according to Miss Grandma, okay? And that is the word from Grandma, and can't nobody take that from her because that's what Grandma said. All right. Now, Mama Gina is like, now you're not going to disrespect my son. And she comments in her confessional, you might be talking about my son, liking the women, but Simon is still married to a whole nother woman. Him and Porsha are worse than what you are saying about my son right here. And the truth of the situation is, Miss Mama Gina ain't speaking nothing but the truth. Miss Mama Gina is speaking the factual of the situation as it currently stands. 1, Simon is still married at this point. 2, he's now engaged to Porsha. Okay. It's like, I mean, which situation is worse? Was it worse that Dennis cheated? Now, I ain't gonna take nothing away from that situation because I mean that was bad too. Okay. But as we're gonna find out later, Miss Mama Gina thinks that Porsha probably deserved it because she think that Porsha cheated too. Okay, from where she's standing at, but she ain't got to that part yet, and she definitely ain't gonna say it. Anyway, the next scene we see is a montage of Porsha filming for Dish Nation, Lauren trying to convince all the women in the family to go on the trip. Simon is filming with his friend while he puffing on them cigars. I gotta say this, and I'm probably gonna get in trouble for this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I do not like the smell of a cigar. It is probably the most god awful smell ever. It is. It just is. I just can't take it. And I feel like when somebody is smoking on one, it just envelops the room and it just make you want to choke. You know what I'm saying? And again, I know people that smoke cigars, so I know I'm probably going to, offend some of them right now. And I'm just got to be transparent because I ain't ever said it. But I felt like today it needed to be said, and I did. Okay. There we go. Blessed Louise says Porsha is trying to choose herself by deciding to move on from Dennis. She might still have feelings for him, but he was not right for her at all. Blessed Louise, I definitely agree with you on this situation. I feel you 110%. That ain't really my issue. My issue is more like, I feel like Porsha's the GOAT. If she can have her cake and eat it too, if she can process her feelings for Dennis, but still be engaged to this man who is still married, more power to her. I told y'all before, if she is rocking, I'm rolling because I like Porsha. But the situation and the optics of it is wild to me. It's just wild. It is. And I can't say nothing other than the fact that this situation is wild. It's wild AF. I don't get it. But listen, if they all like it, I love it. Okay? If they like it, I love it. Anyway. Okay. Emma says we can't act like women don't cheat too because they do. We're going to talk about that too in just 1 second. Okay. We're going to talk about that too. You need a hug. Okay. So, we got a super chat. LaShawn says, Mama Gina better tell Dennis to stop eating all them hot dogs because it's better. You know what? Low-key, if I own a hot dog business, y'all, I will be eating them all day too. Especially if I could get some wrapped in bacon. But I digress. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about this too. I'm saving my comments about Dennis until we get to this part right here. And I think it really is going to display, I don't know, but we're going to have a conversation about it. We already hit that one. Okay, so anyway. So Porsha's meeting with Dennis for the first time in 11 months. Oh, I guess she's saying she hadn't been with him in 11 months or something to that effect. And he invited her out, so she's going to oblige. And she arrives after, fussing about what she's going to wear. She arrives in her muumuu. And then when she does arrive, she expects for him to pull her chair out for her. Ladies, I mean, I guess there's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with that. You usually see that from someone who is in a relationship with somebody, that expectation, but I'm gonna let it ride because maybe that's just what she expects. And I can't fault her for having high expectations of what a man is supposed to do and how a man is supposed to treat her upon entry to a restaurant. I cannot fault her for that. But anyway, immediately he goes into knowing that she's gonna have to go check in with Simon at some point, so he can't hold her long. He questions where she's gonna be living. Okay. And then he tells her that the situation is looking crazy. And then they get into a debate about, what the timeline was for their breakup and how it ended. Now, she says they broke up around Christmas, but he says it was January. And she reminds him that they broke up because he cheated. And he's like, you still mad about that? Now, see, this is where I have an issue with Dennis. Because as Porsha will point out later on in this conversation, nothing really changed about Dennis's behavior after he after he cheated on her. Meaning, as she points out, he was still living that life, that after hours. This is at least what I'm trying to understand. That after hours lifestyle, that club night lifestyle life, that really ain't always going to be beneficial, especially if you're trying to get yourself back in good graces with somebody that you cheated on. And also, it's even little things that Dennis says, like referring to, women as work. You know what I'm saying? And the way it was kind of like, yeah, that piece of work right there. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like you're not really about the type of life that I feel like Porsha's trying to live. And whether that's with Simon or whomever else it is, I feel like Porsha is like, I'm looking for this type of guy. And Dennis just is not that type of guy at this point. He got all these little nicknames for women and stuff like that, pulling out his phone, when it's time for them to go and trying to show some type of, naked photo or something like that to, kind of, I guess, make her jealous. I feel in my spirit like Dennis is still about the games and the child's play. And Portia's looking at him like, no, that's not really what I want right now. I want a businessman, yes, but I want one who is not going to be spreading his business in the streets, okay? And I don't even want it to look like you in the streets. But whether or not that's Simon, I don't know. But what I do know is he has completed 175 hours of therapy or so, or somewhere thereabouts, according to his Instagram, okay? Dennis comes across as still immature. Sunkissed Ever says, again, Portia's relationship with Simon is transactional. Allegedly. Okay. And thank you for that super chat, boo. So yeah, I mean, he's not gonna change. For Porsha, she was saying that, if he came back with the ring that, back to her house with her engagement ring or whatever, then she would have considered taking him back. She would have been back together with him, but he did not bring the ring back at Christmas, and it just fizzled out, according to her. She says the difference between Dennis and Simon is that Dennis is still in that same old world, and Simon apparently treats her like a queen, according to her. Dennis tells her at this point that he still loves her, and suddenly Porsha has the epiphany that she is no longer just at dinner with her co-parent. She's having dinner with her ex. And I'm like, girl, duh. You didn't know this? You didn't know that this man was still in love with you? Like, what in the world are you doing? Okay, because anybody with 2 eyes, 2 ears, skin, cells can see that this man is still trying to get with you. Okay. And you fooling yourself if you feel like he not. And so then she gets in the car and immediately calls Simon. And Simon says he understands how this can't be easy for Dennis. And it just is so wild to me. And again, it must be those 175 or 80 hours of therapy that would make him feel empathy for Dennis, okay, who is really kind of shading that whole situation. All right. And she admits that she maybe had felt uncomfortable being around Dennis and some new girl. And again, Simon is like, well, I just know I got to be patient. What? Are you crazy? That sounds insane to me. Because it's either me or it's your ex. Who it's going to be? Okay. And you're going to have to make some type of decision. Now, I understand y'all got to co-parent, but all these meeting and dealings and going on and this, that, and the third, and he can't bring a date around that. All this stuff sounds a little bit too much for me. Okay. And I just don't know how he deal with it. Okay. I don't get it. It don't make no sense to me. unless it ain't real. Okay. And I don't know that to be true. So we're gonna keep on rocking with it until we don't. Luxus Lee says Porsha needs to be held accountable for the type of men she chooses. She doesn't like being cheated on, but she likes cheaters. Sound like she might need to, I mean, I don't know. But I would say, and maybe I haven't read the book yet. I'm still trying to read another book. Maybe in the book she will detail her therapy and her process for, which she has, evolved over the years. Okay. And I do want to acknowledge this, though. JD says nothing wrong with the transactional relationships that both parties are aware. I agree. I'm not in the relationship, so we don't really know what their dealings are. What we don't want to do is be duped and bamboozled and hoodwinked into thinking that something is real when it may not be. Okay. Nerva Rock says, Richie, let me get my finances in order so I can join. You are steadfast, comical, and deliver every time in a comical way. Which is therapeutic. Thank you, boo. Thank you for that super chat and the compliments. Okay. Lauren meets with Lena, the spiritual advisor, and tells her she wants to take the family on a trip. Now, we also learned that Mama Gina is invited to the Ponderosa down in Mexico. That's where they're going. And then Oprah arrives, or what I thought was Oprah, okay? But it was actually just Aunt Liz, who is studying also to be a shaman, okay? Now, Porsha then arrives with Storm and her boots tipping down them stairs. Is it Storm or Stormy? Somebody correct me in the chat. Just correct me in the chat. Storm or Stormy, because I'll be messing up a name, okay? With not with intent, okay? Unless sometimes I do intend to mess it up, okay? Anyway, Storm or Stormy, whoever, she cute girl though. Asked if the lady's a Sherman, not a shaman. The shaman corrects her, okay, and then asks what everyone's intentions are in life. And in my mind, I'm like, who is the man on the side of the shaman? Because there's a man just randomly in the scene, hands up in the prayer motion, okay? But I don't know who he is. Okay, he's just some random man, maybe an extra, maybe it's the shaman's partner, I don't know. Maybe it's her deacon. I don't know who he is. Anyway, the shaman feels like Porsha is a walking heart chakra, and the shaman starts to beat on the drum. Now, Miss Liz, okay, Miss Liz, Aunt Liz, I think that's the name. Y'all tell me if that's a name. Okay, they said the shaman, Sherman's assistant. Was it Aunt Liz? Okay, it was Aunt Liz, right? I don't know. I think that's the name, and that's what we're gonna call her now. Aunt Liz she seems all for it in the moment at first, but Aunt Liz feel like this lady about to call in some demons up in here. So Aunt Liz got to get to praying, okay, and she get to singing the spiritual hymn, okay. She gonna sing the spirituals, and she gonna ward away whatever demons the shaman is bringing into the session. Why did y'all bring Aunt Liz to the Sherman session? Okay, why did y'all bring Aunt Liz to this? Because y'all had to know Aunt Liz ain't here for this type of carrying on. She is not. Aunt Liz is in the first pew of the church. Okay, Aunt Liz is actually giving the announcements. Okay, and Aunt Liz is the church clerk, and she's not about to have Sherman, whomever she is, bringing in those spirits that don't belong in this session, okay? So she's, warding off any bad spirits and covering everybody in the love and the blood of Jesus, okay? So then it comes up as to whether or not Mama Gina should come on the trip, okay? And unfortunately for Aunt Liz, the Sherman is coming too, okay? So she better get them prayers up on this trip. Anyway, the next scene that we see is Porsha sitting down to lunch with Miss Mama Gina. All right. And Porsha immediately starts off wrong. Okay. She starts off wrong because she jokes to the waiter that Mama Gina is allergic to garlic. So put a little extra garlic in her food. And immediately I'm like, wrong road, Porsha, wrong road, because you can tell Miss Mama Gina don't like Porsha. Okay. She just there because probably she's supporting her son and she want to get a check and she is PJ's grandma. But she don't like this girl, not one bit. I don't think so. They get into PJ going to mommy and daddy's house and how Porsha also dealt with that when she was younger. Mama Gina wants to know why grandma went in on Dennis like that. And Portia's like, well, grandma was just keeping it real about why they broke up and that fact that Dennis is a cheater. So then they get into how embarrassing that was for Porsha. But Miss Mama Gina think it was embarrassed for Dennis as well. Porsha then uses, I don't know, I cannot remember what Porsha said, but she used profanity in her explanation. And Mama Gina is like, don't use that language around me. And Porsha looks genuinely taken aback, okay? And she's like, so now we not cursing around each other? And Mama Gina says, no, I have never cursed around you. And Portia's like, okay, so we brand new now. We brand new today. And that's when Porsha knew this meeting wasn't going to go the way she thought it was going to go. Okay. So then Porsha takes a different tactic. She's like, basically, don't disrespect my grandmother. Okay. You cannot speak to my grandmother in that way. Mama Gina says, well, Porsha is, she basically tells Porsha, if Dennis is a cheater, you're a cheater too. Okay. And you know how I know? I heard it from your mama, Miss Diane. So basically, according to Miss Mama Gina, in a moment of Miss Diane confiding in her, Miss Diane had then told Miss Mama Gina that Porsha had then got with some other man while her and Dennis was on a break. And in which case, is that really cheating? I don't think that's cheating to me. If we ain't together, if we on a break, if you on a break, I'm on a break. I don't know what you're doing out there. You don't need to know what I'm doing because we on a break. That's what a break is. Anyway, according to Mama Gina, she was like, so I just took that little nugget that your mama gave me about you, heifer. She didn't call her heifer. I'm just saying it. In my mind, I heard heifer, but she didn't say it out loud. But I felt like she said it in her mind. And so, so she said, I'm just going to hold on to this little information for when I need it. And I'm going to drop it like a bomb on you on your own show. Okay. Now Porsha says, that's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. Who y'all believe? Y'all believe Miss Mama Gina or you believe Porsha? And do you think that Miss Mama Diane then threw Porsha under the bus according to Miss Mama Gina? It's just such a sad situation, y'all. Portia's like, don't disrespect my grandmother. All right. And you're disrespecting my mama too. Anyway, Porsha then reminds her that she kind of changes courses. Okay. She says that she wants to build a relationship one-on-one and that it won't happen overnight and that hopefully this trip is a place where they can resolve their issues. So ironically, after all the cheating accusations, they just cheers it up. Let's go to Mexico. And that's that. I mean, I need to see Porsha confront her mama and ask her mama whether or not you told Miss Mama Gina that I'm a cheater, pumpkin eater. Okay? Because I need to know that. If you throwing me under the bus like that, we need to have a ponderosa about it. And if you didn't say it, you need to go have a ponderosa with Miss Mama Gina and set her straight. Okay? That's what need to happen. And that's it, y'all. That's it. That was all for Porsha's family matters. And it's looking real good. Next week, they're gonna be on the trip, and it's looking buck wild next week. All right. This show is a chaotic mess. I'm here for it. I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't know what's gonna happen when and who gonna do what to who and what else will come out. So for me, I feel like I am just following this train wreck of geniusness to see where it leads. You know what I'm saying? Now, whether this relationship between Porsha and Simon is real or not, it is definitely entertaining to follow. Okay. And that's all I can say about that. Now, listen, thank you guys for tuning in to the to the madness that we going through today. Make sure you are tuning in for the Salt Lake City review at 2 p.m. with me and Up and Adam. We're gonna be breaking all the cringe down. And if you did not see last night's episode of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, let me tell you something. It was a chaotic mess like I have never seen on a Real Housewives show. The entire episode was a mess. It was a mess. So we got to break it all down. Oh my God, I forgot about Dennis asking Porsha, can he have his Versace robe back? I was like, you so immature. That Versace robe is like $400 or $500. If you don't get on down to the Versace store and get one yourself, go on over to Phipps or whatever the situation is, head on over there after you leave your ship at the hot dog factory and get yourself a new one. Okay, get yourself a new one. Anyway, that's all I got, y'all. Y'all know I love y'all. Enjoy your day. If you come back, we'll love to have you. And if not, get your work done. Enjoy your family. Get some rest. It's going to be a good week this week. We're going to speak that into existence. And we're going to continue having fun. And I will catch you guys in the next video.